Thank you again for watching us. This is the Ohio Gym channel on YouTube, and I am David Andras. This is my partner, my friend, my family, Michael Jackson. What up?
Let's go.
And we are bringing to you a great topic today, but we also have a special guest. So we want to give you some insight on questions that people ask us, clients, members, some of the top 10 questions on resistance training. So that will be today. But instead of just hearing it from Mike and I, like always, we wanted to bring in someone that has a female side of things and perspective. So Cayla, welcome.
Hey.
Can you give us just a brief introduction yourself and how long you've been exercising and why you like exercising so much?
I have been in the gym since what, 2019? 2019, so what, that's 6 years, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years? Yeah. Once I stepped in, it was tough the first week, but results don't happen overnight. So since day one, I've stuck with it and I love it. It's my home away from home.
Cool. And Cayla is a fantastic member. We love having her. We love seeing her every day. So again, thank you. And Mike, how do you feel about today's topic?
I feel super pumped about today's topic. I woke up with a lot of energy today. So many people just do not understand the benefit of resistance training. As you all know, this is part of me and David's profession. Cayla's a member in our gym, man, always getting after it. So we're just bringing you some information about resistance training, but I'm pumped, man. People need to hear this.
Yeah, so what I did, I'm going to be looking on the screen, so I apologize, but I put up there 10 of the top questions, again, that we get from clients and members. Mike has his notes, but I don't have my glasses, so I'm going to be looking up at the screen so I can see. But let's get into it, all right? So one of the first and easiest questions is, what is resistance training, right? What is it?
I can start off with that. So resistance training, just to break that down and make it kind of more simplified, is just simply pushing against forces or a weight to have your body increase in like strength or muscle gain.
So we're going to break down to now, and a lot of questions are up there, are kind of some of the things you can use with resistance training, how to do that resistance training. But again, it's anything that adds a force against you. Number two, what are the benefits of resistance training?
So I've been doing this for a little while. I've had results and benefits in some of my clients. When you start talking about the benefits, that could be wide range. That could be mental, that could be physical, just an energy boost. One thing I will tell you is that you're going to feel a lot better from resistance training. So your mood increases, you have more energy when you're around your loved ones, your coworkers, whatever, they can notice a change in you. You're also going to have more self-esteem. You're just going to feel better when you walk into a room, when you know you've been like in that grind and being active. Another great thing from resistance training is the medical benefits. We live in a world now where it's a lot of diseases, things going on. Ever since COVID, things have been going kind of rampant. So you're going to boost your metabolism. You're going to build a better defense system against like colds, viruses, things of that sort. Bone density, increase in your bones. Sometimes you get a little older, you start to break down. So you're gonna be stronger, you're gonna have that bone density. It'll last you longer. You'll be able to stay stronger and more upright and just be able to be more productive throughout life.
Yeah, I agree. And although some of us do this for a very short-term result, ultimately it's to build longevity for our life. And hand in hand, I've had many members and clients talk about the difference they had when they did not work out and when they do. And a lot of times post-recovery, again, elderly, they feel so much better and they look more vibrant. Their healing is a lot faster. And every answer I get, no matter who it was or who it is, it has always been, if I did not do resistance training, if I did not train like I do, I wouldn't look the way I do, I wouldn't feel the way I do. So really the benefit is not only short term, yes, we have very positive things about short term, but that long term, just to build a healthier lifestyle and build longevity, resistance training is such key. Again, as we go older, you're benefiting from building bone density, from staying away from osteoporosis, your longevity of just movement, functionality, and there's so many key benefits to the resistance training. So definitely worth it to build in your program. Anything to add on that?
No.
No, got it.
All right.
Good. Let's hit the next question. So one of the big topics we get, especially with people that come in as clients and are unsure of things. And sometimes people that may have worked out so hard for so long and just have hit a plateau. It's how often should I do resistance training?
This question here can be kind of tricky. So you cannot use a cookie cutter approach with this. What I would tell anyone is before you start resistance training, seek out a professional, whether that's a fitness professional that can kind of give you a consultation, or either like a doctor or so, someone where they can kind of assess you, see where you're at, and then prescribe what you would need.
Cool. Cayla, how often did you start with training, and then how often do you do it now?
I started 2 to 3 days a week, and now I'm consistently in the gym for 5 days a week. 2 days for rest. Resting is very important to allow your body to recover.
Percent. And that's key, right? So again, depending on your goals, everybody's going to be different, but just an basis and overall program, someone who's just getting started or just wants to stay active, a good 3 times per week is pretty sufficient. It does not have to be every single day. It does not have to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It can be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, however that is. But a good 3 times per week is a pretty good overall benefit for resistance training. Yep.
Yeah, just as a very basic start for sure. Definitely.
And again, you're right, Cayla. You don't want to get into overtraining, and we'll talk about, I'm sure, too, as far as the recovery side of things and how key that is. Good questions. We're firing them off. And let's see, that was resistance training for how often? How about this? What equipment do I need to start resistance training, right? So that's a big thing too. And again, we bring this channel to you not only to, if you're inside the gym, but maybe you're someone who just cannot make it to the fitness center for whatever reason that may be, and you just want to do something in your home, or you're traveling. What can I use, if I'm in a hotel room, whatever it is. What is some equipment that you can use, and Cayla, what you use for resistance training, Mike?
Very, very basic, simple stuff. Obviously, cost friendly too. You could get resistance bands. You could buy those at your local stores, order it offline. You can use like a simple kettlebell. Even resistance training, you can use your own body weight. Doing a push-up is a form of resistance training. A body weight squat, even some light dumbbells, things of that sort. So that's what I would say.
Cayla, what do you use?
I was gonna say body weight movements for sure. I mean, if you don't have any dumbbells or kettlebells, you can't afford it. Even looking up videos on YouTube and just finding body weight movements are key too.
Yeah, and I know I've seen you use some resistance bands.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Resistance bands, I love those.
So, and one of your favorite resistance band workouts, what is it?
Probably the bent over rows.
Right? Perfect.
Yep.
I love that. So you don't have to be one in a fitness center. You don't have to use all this equipment. It's simple. Again, remember, what is resistance training? It's just using that force, right, to build strength and endurance. So whatever that may be, you can utilize. I know I've had clients before in the past. I love to take people in the water. So post recovery, a little more elderly, but again, resistance in the water is fantastic. They make equipment for that as well, whether you want to do bicep curls or just water walking, things, again, you can add resistance. So you could think out of the box, you could be pretty formal with it. Outside of that, again, you have dumbbells, we have, your kettlebells, things like that, right?
Mhm. Yep.
What other stuff do we have off the top of your head?
Okay, so that was like on a small level. Now, if you want to open that up a little bit, you can get into like barbells, you can get into dumbbells, you can get into machines, hammer strength equipment. There's a slew of things you can do, especially in our gym. We have all of these things. But the first part I told you about was just kind of at home, quick, easy start, cost friendly. But if you're looking to really get after it, you're gonna need some dumbbells, that barbell. You're gonna need like some machines where you can get after it and break down the muscle tissue.
And Mike, you mentioned hammer strength. So
Yep.
hammer strength as a manufacturer, what do those, and those are isolateral machines, what do plate load and isolateral machines give you that maybe some other equipment can't?
So I would say that isolateral machines can give you actually isolateral movements. So you ever had like a muscle imbalance, say like one shoulder's hiked up higher than the other side, a bicep is bigger than the other, or a leg, instead of using both arms or legs at the same time, you can now isolate those and go one at a time so you can bring more balance to your body and to your muscles. That's just one thing that I definitely would say.
Yeah, I love that equipment, right? So I love being able to build that balance and making sure my right side is stronger than the left side or vice versa. You have things in the club that if you guys are seeing and just don't know what they are, one, ask questions. That's what we're there for. But you have your TRX bands, again, your kettlebells, your medicine balls, slam balls, you name it, we have.
Yep.
Just remember anything that adds force to build that strength and endurance. So good question. Let's go to the next, right? Let me scroll down here. What do we need to start doing? Resistance training. Can resistance training help with weight loss? Good question. Can resistance training help with weight loss, Mike? Let's shoot it to Cayla. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to say why? Or what do you feel why?
Being able to get your, what do you want to call it? Your metabolic rate or something like that up.
Good. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And it also helps you burn more calories.
Right.
Even incorporating cardio too. I mean, that's a fat loss thing too, but just depending on what your goals are.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why I love having you. And we didn't bring you on to be some expert. It's just, again, giving an insight of just what a member thinks. And it's that little bit that, hey, can get you started. We just kind of help and push and give you guys all the tools you need and educated tools you need to understand why we're doing this, right? So, Mike, can resistance training help with weight loss?
Resistance training can definitely help with weight loss. Cayla had kind of touched on the metabolic rate. So as a rule of thumb, they teach us in school that for every pound of lean tissue that you pick up, you're going to burn 50 extra calories while at rest. Now, we do know that it takes 4 to 6 weeks to gain 1 pound of lean muscle tissue. So this is not something you can just jump into and get out of there before the benefits happen. So trust your process, 4 to 6 weeks to pick up to gain 1 pound of lean muscle. And then while you're sleeping, watching a movie or sitting at the office at work, your metabolism is now starting to work for you. So if you have been struggling with losing weight, I would highly recommend you start doing resistance training. 1 for the aesthetic and 2 for your metabolism.
Very true. So a lot of people, and just touch base on the cardiovascular side. Cardiovascular is great for burning calories. Easy way I put it is once you're on a treadmill, you're burning calories, right?
Sure.
If you jump off the treadmill, Cayla, what happens?
You're no
You're not really-
longer burning calories, but
Right, exactly, right? So just keep it plain and simple, right? So if your cardiovascular is great, you're burning calories there, but once you jump off, you're not. When you have that muscle metabolism, like Mike said, when you have that on your body, even at rest, your body is burning more fuel throughout the day. 50 calories per pound, right?
Pound of lean tissue that you gain.
Right. So I could be sitting on the couch and I know my body's burning at rest. Then we take a look at, and I'll put this up on the screen so you guys can see the numbers. But if I have if I have 50 calories burning at rest, and then let's say we increase that to 10 pounds, and hey, I'm not trying to build these big bulky muscles, but if I want to tone and firm that muscle and I put 10 more pounds of lean tissue on, I'm now burning 500 calories at rest per day, right? Now, check this out. 500 calories times 7 days a week is what? Are you good at math?
no.
3,500. Let's go.
All right, 3,500 calories. So at rest, I'm burning 3,500 calories more per week just by having that additional 10 pounds of lean tissue on. Now, Mike, how many calories does it take to lose 1 pound of fat?
Key number, 3,500 calories.
Did you know that?
No.
So that's it. So to lose 1 pound of body fat, we need to burn 3,500 calories. So at rest, simply by having that 10 pounds of lean tissue on, you're burning a pound a week. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
That's right. Our body is a furnace, right? And again, I'll put those numbers up there so you guys can see that. But that's the key importance of how resistance training can help you lose that weight. Not only are you burning while you're doing it, but you're going to build that muscle and burn even at rest. Cool.
Amazing.
All right, guys. So can resistance training help the weight loss? We just touched on that. Good question. Should I do high reps with low weights or low reps with high weights? How should that be? What should be the intensity? Should I do high reps with low weights or low reps with high weights?
Now that is a good question as well.
Yeah, and that, everybody's going to be specific as far as the goals. Am I looking to be a fitness competitor? Am I looking just to gain a lot of muscle on my body? Or am I looking for more athletics? Am I looking to be quicker, stronger, have more agility? Am I looking just for an overall health and overall balance? All that plays in a role, right? So like Mike said, ideally with resistance training, we want to rip apart that muscle fiber as much as possible. And in order to gain that muscle, we got to put the right nutrients in and let ourselves rest and recover, like you talked about, to help grow that muscle on top. So we're growing muscle fibers on top of muscle fibers. So it is pretty specific as far as what your goals are. You take a look at your goals, you take a look at your lifestyle, you take a look at ultimately what you can do to really put that together. So is there a means to it? Yes, it really just depends on your goals for whether, again, that's endurance athletics or whether you're muscle building and really want to add on that muscle
The
tissue.
more weight we lift, we're going to cause more wreckage. The more wreckage we cause, then we have to repair those muscles. They come back harder and stronger. So it goes back to the 4 to 6 week process. We're not gaining muscle to boost our metabolism. The more weight we lift, we're going to cause more wreckage. The more wreckage we cause, then we have to repair those muscles. They come back harder and stronger. So it goes back to.
We are rolling right along. Let's do this. All right. How long does it take to see results from resistance training? Mike, you already kind of touched on that. But Cayla, let me ask you this. Getting started 6 years or 5 years ago, you said you started jumping in at 3 days a week, pretty consistent then, and then 5 days a week. How long, or do you remember how long, or maybe even starting a goal again, because we readjust our goals continually. How long does it take for you to see benefits from resistance training, muscle tissue, leaning out, tightening up?
Honestly, I think to really see results, it also depends on what your diet is, what you're looking like in the kitchen. I mean, like feeding a baby. Like you got to be able to control what you put in your mouth. And honestly, I haven't been good at that because, I took a step back from the gym. I did take a step back from the gym, but I've been incorporating higher protein meals and making sure I attack my protein goals in the morning where I'm aiming for 40 grams every morning for breakfast. And then when I get home, I'm aiming for another higher dose of grams just because protein helps you build muscle, but it also helps you lose fat too.
Very true, which is a whole nother episode, right?
Yes.
But I'm glad you brought that up. That's 100% true. Absolutely. Mike, you touched about it, right? So to gain 1 to 2 pounds of lean tissue, how long does it take?
So they teach us it takes 4 to 6 weeks to gain 1 pound of lean tissue. Say that question again for me from the top. I kind of lost that.
Let me read it exactly how they put it there. How long does it take to see results from resistance?
I got it. All right, yeah. So based on the science, I had touched on this earlier, 4 to 6 weeks to gain 1 pound of lean muscle. With all of the benefits that you get from resistance training, you're gonna see results from that instantly. Soon as you finish that workout and walk out of the gym or wherever, home or wherever you've done it, you're gonna feel better. I'm telling you this so that you can pay attention to it. If you've never done any resistance training, do one workout and then see how you feel afterward. You could be really worked up, like at work, life stresses, you're just ready to, I'm so, take all that energy out on some resistance training, the weights, whatever. You already start to feel better, breathing better, have more self-esteem about yourself. So you're gonna have results instantly, kind of like on the mental side and the energy side. Then more of the muscle and the aesthetic side would be like 4 to 6 weeks.
That's a very good point. Very good point, right? So it's not, again, everybody wants to, go into a box and come out that box 30 seconds later and be in the perfect shape they're going to be in. But you're right, those mental aspects happen right away. And sometimes those are even important for us to have to get through the next 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Or just on a daily as it is. But very, very true. So I appreciate that, Mike. Good point to bring up. Is it okay to do resistance training every day? Is it okay to do
I want
resistance
Cayla to get that one.
every day? You already mentioned it.
It is safe to, but honestly, you want to switch your workouts up. So let's say you hit lower body on Monday. You come in the next day, let's say, okay, you were focusing on glutes and hamstrings Monday, and then you come in the next day and you're like, oh, I want to do quads and calves. You want to allow your body to rest. So making sure you have a set split where you're coming in Monday, okay, I'm going to hit lower body. You're coming in Tuesday, okay, I'm going to focus on upper body, whether it be back, biceps, shoulders, triceps, whatever your focus is. You want to be able to switch it up so that your muscles have time to recover.
Very, very true.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cayla. Man, this is kind of like a touchy topic here. Can you do it every day? So you can do it every day, but the intensity is going to play a key role in that. First thing I would say is like go through some workouts, like maybe have like a trainer or someone put you through a workout. So then you can feel what an intense workout feels like, kind of like a moderate workout, and then a light workout. Now, if you're doing a light workout, as we talked earlier with bands, maybe some light push-ups or something like that. You could do stuff like that every day. Now, if you're more on the intense side where you're doing a lot of compound movements, as far as like barbell squats, lunges, bench press, dumbbells, now that's a different ball game. You're not going to be able to do those movements every single day. Cayla had kind of touched on a split. So if you're going to go, I would recommend that you get at least 1 day a week rest. But if you're going to go into more of the harder core style of workout I talked about, no. If it's more on the lighter side, then yes, do it every day.
Agreed. And again, all this comes down into customizing a program for you and taking a look at your goals. What are your goals specifically?
We do.
Right. So again, just remember when we're doing that resistance training, ultimately we're trying to break down that muscle tissue if we're looking to enhance and increase our muscle tissue. So we're breaking down and tearing apart that muscle fiber. It's going to take time to repair that and grow on top of that. So if you're specific and looking, hey, I want to build a lot more mass, you're going to need that rest and recovery, just like both of you said. You need that time to heal. So but yeah, I mean, to do it every day, it's like walking. If I walk today, does that mean I got to take 2 days off and not walk again? No, I mean, our muscles are designed to be active. So we're again just talking about more intensity on that side of things. Good question. Man, we're coming right down. This is already 9, huh? Can I combine resistance training with cardiovascular? So good question there too. Can I combine resistance training with cardio? Mike?
Definitely you can do that. It's going to be kind of like needs to be monitored. Again, this will go into your goals. If you are doing resistance training, say you had a session of resistance training of anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, you could go ahead and knock out about 10 minutes of cardio. But the key is, where's your heart rate? How intense is that cardio? You have to be careful, because if you're trying to build muscle and you're doing too much cardio, now you start to eat away some of that muscle. And now we're working against what we came to do. So to answer the question, yes, you can do it, but it needs to be monitored. And this is where I would say you would need to see like a fitness consultant or someone that can kind of get your numbers and get you straight in that aspect.
Cayla, how about your exercise routine? Do you combine the two?
Yes, it just depends on what I'm doing that day. Let's say I'm hitting upper body. I could go and do an incline walk on the treadmill for 25, 30 minutes. And let's say I'm hitting legs, I could do a 10-minute warm up on the Stairmaster or a 10-minute walk on the treadmill.
Now,
Just depends.
do you monitor your heart rate?
Yes, I do.
Where's your heart rate?
Um,
Let's just say, is it high, medium, or low?
I guess it just depends on how intense the workout is. I always
During
try
your
to,
cardiovascular?
yeah. I always try to like incorporate like that rest, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The rest is very important.
Yeah. So if I could just touch on some of that, Mike, I agree. Is it okay to incorporate resistance training with cardio? Again, this is going to come to the benefits of what you're looking for. Cardiovascular is great, but cardiovascular exercise is for cardiovascular. Is it in a sense to lose weight and tighten and tone? Not necessarily. So when you look at cardiovascular, absolutely it's key to do that, to build your heart, to build your blood work, all that. But when you are incorporating it with resistance training and cardiovascular, we want to do our resistance training prior to our cardiovascular exercise. The reason being, and I'll put this up on the screen too, is our body burns energy. And there's certain things in our body which our body burns for that energy. The fastest source of energy is from sugar. So we want to burn that sugar off. So get your resistance training in, obviously warm up, whatnot, and then hit your resistance training and let your body burn that sugar off. And then from there, jump into cardiovascular. You'll see on cardiovascular machines, there's a cardiovascular endurance program and a fat burning zone. There's 2 zones, cardio zone, fat burning zone, right? So if you're in that cardio zone, that's going to be more specific for building that oxygen volume, building your cardiovascular program up. That fat burning zone is key. And a lot of times people come to me and say, well, I don't feel anything if I'm in that fat burning zone. trust that process, understand what that fat burning zone is. So you take some time, you burn off the sugar in your body. Typically it takes about a half hour, burn that sugar off in your body. You jump to the resistance training. If you're you jump to your cardiovascular. If your heart rate is too high, your body is going to go to the next fastest source of energy, which then after sugar is muscle. That's what we want to avoid. So bring that heart rate down, stick in that fat burning zone. Then your body says, okay, I'm relaxed a little bit more. I'm going for the long term. My next source, my longest burning energy source comes from fat. So we go from sugar, then we go to fat. Keep that heart rate, like I said, has to be structured for yourself. Keep it in the fat burning zone. And then, and you'll see more to that combining training, resistance training with cardiovascular.
Perfect.
Long-winded again, I'll put that up there. It's kind of like fitness 101 for you guys. Let's go this last question and we'll wrap everything up. How do I prevent injury in resistance training? Very great question. We see a lot more injuries now. You know what's scary is I see a lot more injuries with kids now as well. So that's, you got, I think we're going to jump to Cayla real quick. Let's hear it. What we got?
Ready.
All right. How do I prevent injury in resistance training? Always warming up. And, I get like when people step into the gym, they see people that have been in there for years and they might look good, but like you're not to that step yet. And there's, like you said, younger kids having injuries and stuff like that. When they step into the gym, they want to max that weight out. And I was that person. Once upon a time, I was that person when I first stepped into the gym. I'm like, oh, I can do this weight. I can do. It's not about what you can do, it's about what your body can do. And honestly, we all start somewhere. So whether you're starting with 10 pounds, 5 pounds, you can work your way up to have higher weight so you can look like the person that you want to be, but also like it's genetics. But I think that a lot of people go into the gym and they see somebody pushing weight and they think that they can push that weight. And honestly, when you're pushing that weight, sometimes you don't have the proper form, which is gonna cause the injury to occur. And then you're gonna be like, wow, like I can't step back into the gym, like I gotta take time off. But it doesn't matter what you see somebody else doing, like we all start somewhere. So regardless, like I said, if you're starting with 5, 10 pounds, you can work your way up, but you want the proper form. It doesn't matter what the weight looks like.
Very, very well said. I
No,
appreciate it.
awesome.
And that's coming from it. No offense. I mean, are you degreed at all or certified in fitness, nutrition, any type of exercise science?
I was certified. I'm not certified anymore, but I really was like into like the whole fitness dive, a couple years ago, I think it was, a couple years ago. But like I see so many people stepping in the gym and I'm just like, oh, like, and sometimes you want to help people, but like people aren't looking for like that unsolicited advice.
Yep.
So it's just like, we all start somewhere. Like I used to be that person, but sometimes you just got to let people learn on their own.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's hard, but
I love that you can show, tell people from your eyes as a members what you see. Because again, we all see it and even the members see it. So that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Can you, Mike, back to you. Can you prevent injury in resistance training or how do I prevent injury?
How do you prevent it? Cayla touched on it. Definitely having a warm up in that could be whether it's just like a PVC pipe, some bands, maybe some jumping jacks, little cardio. Try to get your heart rate up some. Do a warm up. Obviously, you could have a spotter is another form to make sure that you don't get hurt. Another thing you can do is have a trainer with you so they can kind of gauge your process, gauge where you're at. Then you want to do like mobility exercises as well for your legs, your back, whatever you're working out. That will help you prevent injury. Another thing you can do too, if the assessment that I talked about with a fitness consultant. And if you didn't want to do anything like that, a little bit safer and just for accountability, you could get kind of like a workout journal and start to log the weight that you're using and the reps that you're doing. And then like each week you can kind of look at that and just build. There's two ways you could build that. You could build that by using higher reps or increasing the weight, or sometimes in cases both. I'm doing more weight and more reps, but that's when you're a little more heavy into the game. So there you have it.
Yeah, and I agree. Technique is absolutely huge. That's one of the biggest things that I focus on with my clients. I do not let you progress until I know your technique is there. I cannot have on my conscience, you go outside, we do some squats, you're not doing them right, then you go on your own next week or next year and they're not done, you hurt yourself. I just can't do it. So technique is vital. Also, I like what you said, Cayla, is you really have to know your body. Sometimes we got to ego check ourselves and say, hey, look, I'm not there yet. I have to know my body. I have to know what it can and cannot do. Yes, you stretch. Maybe you stretch and warm out. Doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to go lift 752 pounds over my head. You just can't, our body just can't do that. But sometimes we see someone next to us, or we see this YouTuber, what are those influencers and
Instagram.
TikTokers,
Yep.
and oh, I'm going to do this. It's not customized for your body, right? It's not made for you. It's not, it maybe, but is it yet, you know? And are they showing you proper technique? Are you understanding the biomechanics of your body and your movement and the structure of everything? So you have to really, again, yes, work with an instructor to get that technique down, but know how to do that movement. And for sure, you have to make sure you warm up. You have to make sure you stretch. Now, do you static stretch? Those are types of stretching are you supposed to do? That's another topic of conversation. But you warm up, you're stretching, know your body and know that technique. I tell my son and many others that if you have proper technique, you're going to outlift more than someone else that does not do that exercise properly, because you're using the right form, you're using the right muscles, and you're just going to simply outlift them. So again, if you want to stop that injury, if you want to prevent that injury, make sure you do it properly. And one of the biggest things, like you said too, is just you grow, you progress, you know, don't jump into it right away, right? Stretching before and after as well. Make sure you stretch after too. So mobility, stretching.
For sure.
Cool. Well, great. These were some of the, again, some of the top 10 questions that have been brought to us by members and clients. I hope this has helped with you guys. Anything you would like to add, Cayla?
No,
Thank you so much, right? Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
thank you.
for being
Yes,
thanks
here
for
and
having me.
kind of getting a different side of, you know, it's one thing hearing it from us, but when you hear it from not only a member, but also a female and not just male driven conversation, it helps too. So thank you very much. And then again, we appreciate you guys being here and watching us. Feel free to subscribe. We love it if you like us, share it with other people. Hopefully, again, these discussions are here to help you, whether you can make it into the gym and see us, whether you cannot, totally understand that as well. But we just want to give something to you guys and serve you guys and help any way we can. Love it if you guys look at us in all of our social media, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatnot. We are on there. You can always find Mike and myself in the gym at the Ohio Gym in Sheffield Village, Ohio. You reach out to us online. If we did not get to any of your questions, please write a comment, send it separately to us. We'll be more than happy to answer those, whether it's directly to you or on the channel as well. If you had advice for us or topics you'd like to cover, just give us a shout out as well and let us know. We'll be happy to help and do those things for you, right, Mike?
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
Any added, I know you always have great sayings, so any added touches for today, Rob?
Man, I would just say this, speaking from experience, get into the gym or start resistance training, whether that's at your home or in the gym. Friends will turn their back on you, significant others could turn their back on you, stress from job, life, anything, but the resistance training will always be there. You can go there and dump off, clear your mind, and also get a lot of great benefits as we talked about earlier. So just get started, I would tell you that.
Get started. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you.